They do. I'll watch it later.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no problem.
all of you.
We're live now.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
how long I can,
Okay.
I don't know, but it is live.
Dustin, you and Michael, come on in. Michael, you can have my chair now. What paper is Marla from? The Southern Commercial. Yeah, Mr. Stein, yes, Mr. Stein.
Alabama Grapevine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayor, can they come into the hallway?
No, ma'am. They said 20 people in the entire building.
Okay.
There'll be nobody in the hall. That's why we got 20 chairs in here.
Tomorrow you want to go out here and.
Well, he told me to hear about.
Yeah.
Let him, he said stay. I'm just really, this is ridiculous.
We don't need to be in violation of the fire marshal.
Put on the agenda next month, build a bigger building.
Yeah.
I'm not
He's
kidding.
not joking.
So it is going to be.
Yes, she is.
Can I see Patty do that?
Jimmy.
I thought you just said.
Mr. Tate, Jimmy Phillips,
Do you want you to come
I
outside?
want you to go out there for a minute.
okay.
He needs to ask you something, I suppose.
Yeah, Jim.
Waiting for the Valentine special comedy to start.
Yes,
There is 20
Tell me
in the
what
room
you-
and several
what you got.
outside.
What do you got now?
So we are waiting just a few minutes for it to start.
Well, Mr. Tate, may I ask a question? If someone speaks and then leaves, can another person
Another
come?
person can come in. as
Dustin.
long as you help.
Go tell JD if someone
walks.
walks out after speaking, JD can come out.
Yeah, that'll be me, so whichever one I'm with.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, should be all right.
It's just.
It is 6 o'clock. Deborah will call the meeting to order. You do a roll call, please.
Karen Best,
Present.
Adele Phillips,
Present.
Jack Martin,
Present.
Dean Freeman. Chris Busby.
Present.
Let's all stand and do the pledge. Mr. Chris, if you would lead us in the pledge, sir.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Jack Martin, would you lead us in our prayer, please?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day, and we thank you, Lord, for this meeting. Lord, we come to you humbly, we know how, praising and worshiping you for being our Lord and Master. Lord, we hope something fruitful comes of our meeting here today, Lord, to do something that make our little town a better place to live in. Lord, we pray for each and every person that's here today, and all this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I need to slap I recognizing our visitors, Miss Carrie, Elaine Burt, Raymond Beasley, Michael Chambers. This is a special called meeting. The only thing we can discuss is suspension of the duties of the chief of fire department. Nothing else. With that, we will start on with our business. Ms. Perry, you're up.
Okay, thank y'all for letting me come in and speak today. After Monday's meeting of last week, when the suspension occurred and the field trip occurred, John and I were talking. He said, well, he'd be willing to volunteer to clean up at the fire department, that seemed to be a very big issue.
May I interrupt?
Yes.
What does this have to do with the suspension of the fire?
Point of order.
Point of order, that's my point.
That he was suspended because of the neglect, the garbage in the fire trucks, and I have that garbage from the fire trucks. I wanted to present, this is my extra coat in case I had to stand out in the cold. We emptied the trucks, we took out everything that was trash and
Okay.
put it in a bag. Everything that was an unopened water bottle was left in the truck, along with 2 bottles of Gatorade, along with, get this, along with the emergency manuals and procedure books. Face mask and glove boxes of gloves. This is the actual trash. This actually contained 3 bottles of water that were unopened, but I included it because I made it trash. This is all the trash that was in 3 fire trucks and 1 support vehicle.
Thank you.
There you go. So, thank you. And I also respectfully submit that each and every council member and the mayor be charged with presenting their findings from the field trip. We did not hear 1 word last week that was not documented. There was no public there to see what occurred and what they thought. And I feel like each and every member of this council should state their findings and their feelings about that fire trip, that field trip. Thank you.
Elaine Burt.
Well, you know, I've come up here and talked a lot of times, and ain't done no good. And I don't even know why I put my name on the roster this time. It ain't gonna do no good either. But until these people and all of those out there come to every meeting Will they ever know? Will they ever know? So the bad thing is, these people out here will not know what goes on here, only what they hear, and that's what's wrong now.
That's
Now,
why we have media.
and have I asked you how many times why you don't video this? Nothing can be changed, but nonetheless, that night that I did speak, I didn't come up here to say one thing about the fire department. All I came to say is there should be less hate and more grace. But this came up.
Mhm.
And not that what I think makes a hill of beans, but this is what I think. I think that you went out there and looked around because you were already pissed off at the fire department. Because they don't do everything you want them to. And so,
Excuse me. You don't know how I felt.
you don't have,
I
you don't
wouldn't-
know
I
how
wouldn't
they
have
feel.
asked
Interrupt them while the speaker speaks, let them have their
I only
time.
got 5 minutes, so when you got
That's
something to
right.
say, you can say it after I
I
get done.
will,
Yep.
I will.
So, y'all went out there. They didn't appreciate what you said and they told you so. So by the time you came back in here, you was real pissed off.
No, ma'am.
So you thought, well, by dip, I know what I'll do. I'll just put him to the side. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. We'll never know that, will we? Will we? No, we won't. We'll never know. But I do know that I came to every meeting that I could come to from the time you came in. Because you were against the fire department when you were with the city council, and we had a powwow right out there on the street, didn't we?
Point of
Yes, we
order,
did.
Elaine.
Yes, we did.
You're leading off on, has
No, I'm
nothing
not
to do.
leading off of
Yes, you
nothing.
are.
No, Matt,
And
no,
I'm
sir.
gonna ask you to sit down.
She
Well, I'm
should
not-
be able to say what she wants to.
She should be able to say, Raymond,
Yeah.
that on a special call meeting, we can only discuss the matter at hand.
Well, the matter at
And
hand,
this
we'll
has
go back to
got
that.
nothing to do
A
with it.
controlled meeting.
Are you discussing the matter of the fire chief or anything with that?
Well, he asked me in
I
that,
heard you talking about the fire department.
But
fire
she's
chief.
talking more about my feelings and I'm against them. That is not true, Elaine. So please
Well,
have a seat.
you should have let me know that all this time I've been coming to the meetings and show
It was
that.
explained
Because
to
if
you.
you had been videoing, people would know when you sit back and say, I don't care whether they have the money or not. Not the exact words. I know you want me to sit down, and I know you didn't want me to come, let alone sit up and talk, and I'm gone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please
Raymond
don't
Beasley.
interrupt another one. Please.
So I can see we ain't able to talk and say what we want
That's
to
right.
say.
No, sir, you are not.
Well, I'm kind of shaky about the whole situation. Everything I'm gonna say is about the fire department in Dustin, and it's the truth. You know, I've seen how he's been treated. You know, if it wasn't for our past mayor, you know, he would have got treated like that during that time, but, you know, I've heard some things said about, you know, so it's basically, it's pretty upsetting that we've got some good people in this town, but we've got 3 people in this room right now that are just evil. Don't want, you know, things to be said.
It's not what we want.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, when Dustin, he first got elected by the city council members, that was under Lamar Bray. You know, he was everybody loved him, including you. You was on city council, Adele. I mean, he's doing a good job. I think he recruited like 12 to 15 fire members. And Lamar had mentioned about, you know, raising funds for the fire department. And the whole town was on board with that. So he come up with the Mayberry Festival. We need to raise funds. And so when we had the Mayberry Day Festival, and me and my wife, we wanted to see how well it was done. You know, how well, you know, how much money we'd got. And me and her come into the office here, and as we was walking in, I could hear Adele and city clerk Deborah Rhodes in here talking as they was counting the money. And I heard Adele with a angry voice, mad, whatever you want to call it. I heard her say that, I hate it, I'm sorry, but the fire department is not getting all this money. This is too much money to just be handing over to the fire department. And then me and my wife come in the door here. Me and my wife come in the door and her face just changed like,
I'm gonna
hey, how
call
are y'all
point of
doing?
order, Raymond. This has got nothing to do with the matter at hand.
Oh, it's about the fire department. And
It's
why-
about the fire department,
and
but
why-
not at the
It's
suspension of
about,
the chief.
it's about what led up to the suspension of the chief.
I'm gonna ask you to sit down.
Well, I can talk to the news crew. If you're not gonna let me talk.
Afterwards,
that's
you
fine.
can, because we got some.
This is what it's all about, though.
Yes.
It's over control of the fire department's funds. And me and my wife heard her.
We got the books, we got the papers, we can show you.
We stopped right in the back here, right in the
Michael
kitchen
Chambers.
before we walked in and was listening.
Jake was in here with us, but I did not say that. I don't care what you say.
Oh, I heard you say it.
I had a whole thing prepared, but obviously can't read that. Would you like to speak about this meeting or just about the chief?
Just about the chief and his suspension.
I'll sit here and advocate for Bert. Dustin Burt's the reason we have that rescue truck out there, brand new air packs. He's the reason our ISO rating is the best it has ever been. You have had nothing but contempt for him and this department. Nothing but contempt. You've shown us nothing but disdain, disrespect. You demand respect for us, but you have yet to try to earn it from us.
No.
There's about 50 people out there in the parking lot that agree. You suspended him over that
No, sir.
when, that's what we were told. Anyways, April of 2020, our fire hall flooded. And, we were told it'd be too expensive to have it cleaned by ServPro, and we should clean everything with bleach. So, pass this around if I can. How do you still have a job when our fire hall, the insulation, looks like this? Because we were told it'd be too expensive. We should clean everything with bleach.
Point of order on you, Michael. That's got nothing to do with the suspension of the chief.
Well, in a way it does, because on your list, one of the ones was the cleanliness of the fire hall and the equipment. And his
Point of
point,
order, Karen. Now, the new business.
Yeah, you are a coward.
That's not it.
Excuse me?
You are a coward.
Thank you.
50 people out there in the parking lot showed up to advocate for us.
Good.
Nice to know you finally decided to start recording the meeting.
Thank you. Now, the business at hand, Chris Busby called this meeting for a purpose. And Chris, if you would state that purpose in front of the council.
The purpose is for, we have to have a hearing, a public hearing. If you suspend or you remove anybody, a public hearing is what he deserves in front of the council. It actually should have been done Monday night once you suspended it. You should have went into a public meeting for him, a hearing.
And he got 30-day suspension in which we can do that.
Right now. That's what I told you on the phone when I called you.
No, sir, you did
It's for a
not.
public hearing.
You told me
I did
that-
say a public hearing. Don't call me a liar.
I'm not calling you a liar.
I said it, he has to have a public, it's right here in the books. Right here.
Yeah.
Anybody that we voted on as a council, per your suspension of them,
Mhm.
you either call a special meeting to have a public hearing for him.
Mhm.
And you have to replace him with somebody. Who did you replace?
I didn't replace him with nobody.
Who did you replace him with?
I just said nobody.
Nobody, because you've done it
Nobody.
wrong.
Well,
You done it wrong,
Let
and you know
me-
you done it wrong.
no, I did not.
Well,
Let me,
It's right here.
we're not arguing.
Every bit of it's right here.
We're not
And this
arguing.
is what you gave us. Duties of the mayor and the council.
It's in the legal municipalities handbook.
It's right here. Every bit of it. I got it highlighted for you. You want me to read it off for you?
The reason I suspended Dustin from his duties of the fire chief and only the duties of the fire chief dates back to May 3rd, 2021 at the list of duties of the fire chief. There's 4 things on
Point of
here.
order.
No, this is the reason why we suspended.
No, my reason why is you're actually not allowed to write that. We do as the council. We're supposed to write it.
As the mayor, I am in charge of writing these. I'm in charge of the overseeing of all departments.
Mr. Tate, do you have anything to say on that?
He's asking you.
You know, I need to respond.
Yep.
Code provides that the mayor shall be the chief executive officer and have general supervision and control of all officers and affairs of the town, except otherwise provided by the code. In your instance, you do not have an ordinance that addresses the appointment of the fire chief. So that's the mayor's responsibility to appoint the fire chief. I've attended a lot of council meetings over the last 50 years, and there's a lot of councilmen always think they actually have authority over certain employees that they don't have because they don't follow the code.
But he wasn't appointed fire chief, he was elected by the council.
No, he's appointed fire chief of the mayor because there's no ordinance that provides for the fire chief.
So why did we vote him in then? Why did we have a vote?
Because you had a vote, it was a really nullity, it had no effect.
Does our mayor not know the rules at the time we voted
I
on
do not
January
know. I
4th,
wasn't here.
2021? You were here, I think you were here at that
At the
meeting.
council meeting,
I don't think
Yes,
he
sir.
was.
I didn't start attending the council meetings about last year, I think.
Yeah.
So it states here, the mayor may not permanently remove the police chief or any other official who were not appointed by him or her, but the mayor may temporarily remove such official pending a hearing
Pending a hearing.
on the question by the council.
And there's some case law that says that volunteers are not employees or agents.
He is elected by us, so
Yeah.
he is an official.
Well, that's your opinion. Attorney General has another opinion, as I understand it. And the Supreme Court has another opinion.
So you're saying as a council, when we vote on something, it doesn't mean anything?
No,
Is that
ma'am,
what
I
you're
did
saying?
not say that.
That's what he's saying.
I did not say
That's
that. I said,
essentially what just happened. I mean, I'm confused, I'm sorry,
you're
I'm just
confused
confused.
because the mayor has the appointing authority if it's not specified in the ordinance. According to Deborah, you've checked the ordinance, there's no ordinance here that appoints the fire chief, is that correct?
Well, then why did that election be allowed to happen? Why did we
Because
feel like we have
nobody spoke
authority?
up, and it's a nullity, that's just like saying amen, it had no legal effect.
All right, this section also gives the council in municipalities under 6,000 population the authority to identify officers of the city by ordinance and to elect those officers or provide for any other manner of appointment by ordinance.
Yes, man. And that ordinance has never been adopted.
Nobody has ever, so every year that you voted in a police chief, fire chief, everything like that, wasn't necessary to do it.
The mayor had the appointing authority.
I have the appointing authority.
Authority for the police and everything else, correct? Okay,
Absence of an ordinance.
back to this. Since that was correct, we're gonna go back to 2000.
And what does it say?
I'll let him read it, because he was the only one that was here at the time.
This is minutes of a council meeting where, they organized the council. And Scott Gifford made the motion to appoint Myra Smith as clerk. And the code specifies that the clerk shall be elected by the council. Scott Gifford made the motion to appoint Brian Howard as fire chief. Scott Gifford seconded the motion.
Continue on.
Vicky Biddle made a motion to let Kenneth Busby go at the end of the pay period. Her motion was seconded by Charles Jenkins, and on roll call vote was unanimous.
So they voted to remove a police chief when they had no authority to.
No, they appointed, this is.
Is that what you're saying?
This was the organizational meeting of that council back in November.
Yes.
Okay? The police chief's term of office ended with the new mayor and council.
Hmm?
So they appointed a new police chief.
No, they did not appoint one. They removed one. They did not appoint anybody.
Okay, didn't appoint anybody,
Nope.
okay. But they removed him,
Yeah.
which they had the authority to do.
So, you're saying that we have the authority, just then, you just said we have the authority to appoint a chief at the
No, I'm saying you did.
beginning, at the end of
Absent
each.
ordinance, you didn't have the authority. You did, but you didn't have the authority to do it.
So-
The appointment should have been made by the mayor at that time.
So, you're saying this is right, yet we are
We're
wrong.
wrong.
Say again.
You're saying this is right, that they were, this
I'm
is,
saying they appointed the clerk, which they have the authority to appoint the clerk. They appointed the fire chief, and they didn't appoint a police chief.
yeah, they appointed a fire chief, and it was the
The appointing authority at that time.
Steve
actually
Gifford
belonged-
and Scott Gifford are council members.
And they- but
Just to let everybody know
that-
they're council members, not the
Not the
mayor.
mayor.
That authority was in the mayor's hands, and he didn't exercise it.
But they still got
And
to.
he didn't either. So as of right now, we have the authority.
There is no ordinance.
It doesn't
But there
matter.
wasn't an ordinance
There
back
wasn't
then
an ordinance
either.
then, there wasn't an ordinance ever. Nobody ever made the ordinance.
Right.
So, you're just now finding out that you have this power, right?
No.
Correct?
No.
So why did you let us vote?
As a courtesy, to be transparent.
As a courtesy.
Yes.
I think it's as a crooked mayor. That's what I think.
Well, you're entitled to your opinions.
Now, that we have this needs to go on record, which it already is, but it needs to go for this meeting. Do you need a copy of it?
Please.
That's got nothing to do with this meeting.
Well, it's got a lot to do with
It's
it,
probably
just to
not.
let everybody know what you've done.
23 years ago.
Something that happened 23 years ago. By a crooked town, crooked lawyer. Backwoods towns.
Getting back to the reason of suspension, contrary to the word going around is because of this trash in the fire trucks. That is not the whole story, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, could I say a word?
You can.
He took the whole council to the fire trucks last week
I did.
to look them over,
I did.
complaining about these. And the fire hall not being kept.
That's right.
So you knew, I wanna know how you can suspend fire chief of duties such as not picking this up or writing you something on a piece of paper and still expect him to volunteer and go out and fight the fire. And him go out there as under suspension. If he did or said anything wrong under that suspension, that can fall back on you.
I don't
You
agree.
better watch your
I don't
way of
agree.
doing around here.
The thing is, Jack, you all got a copy of this one in 2021, and you all got a copy of this one January the 4th this year. And it is the duties of the chief of Valley Head. And of these lists, there has been absolutely nothing done. Nothing.
Well, how can you suspend a man of his duties and still expect him to be on the fire department?
I suspended him as chief. He's still on the fire department.
You suspended him as chief.
As
but
chief.
He don't have any, he can't do his duties. You suspended him of it, whatever it might be.
Well, I have one question.
As a volunteer,
As a volunteer,
He
you
could
really
still
have a
do
lot-
the
you don't
duties
have a
that
lot of-
was
You don't
required
really
of
have a
him.
lot of pullover.
now,
As a firefighter, I need a chief to answer to.
That is correct.
That's right.
Our town unprotected.
I did not leave our town unprotected.
There is no chief, there is no fire department.
Well, I disagree with that.
It's
If
right here on
Kurt
this
is
agenda.
suspended, I'm suspended.
Okay,
May I say something?
yes.
On the list that's dated January 24th, I'm sorry, January 4th, 2023, as stated May 3rd, 2021, on the third paragraph, the chief is responsible for collecting all equipment. I think we went over that last Monday night, did we not, Dustin? That almost every single volunteer firefighter was at the meeting when that young lady ran into that, so that nullifies that one. On the fourth paragraph, the chief is responsible to ensure that any and all equipment is documented, show all equipment as proper maintenance, and on and on. On that one, I'm a little confused about that because I know when something's wrong, Dustin lets you know, like the pumper or whatever's wrong with the equipment. He does not take that to get it fixed.
No,
He doesn't have authority to
no,
do
he
that.
does not.
So how would
He
he,
does not.
so how would he be, how are you saying he's not, how is he not complied with that paragraph? Because he does let you know, and it's documented, not only in city, I went back through my meeting minutes from the time I was elected. And then also, I was given the fire calls that Dustin emails to Deborah to share with the mayor every single month. And between his fire call reports for the month and the city council meetings, it's very well documented every time something is wrong. So I'm confused why this seems to be still a concern when, in my opinion, he has reported when equipment's bad. He can't take the tires to go get put on. He has to bring it to your attention so you can decide where to go and where to shop and to bid and then pay for it. So I want you to explain
What
to me.
paragraph are you referencing
The-
right there?
the-
The last one on the
yes, sir.
first page?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
All right, that right there is mainly, our gas burning equipment has been run with ethanol gas and being stored with ethanol gas.
That's like a chainsaw.
Chainsaw, leaf blower,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. But it's
And in
something
order to prevent these being clogged up due to moisture, which ethanol gathers, I purchased 10 gallon of gas, of 100% gas. And I asked Dustin to get it changed over. I did. And he said last meeting that that has been done, that Michael did it.
Okay. Has it been done? Okay.
Michael, did you do that? Did you change the gas over and all the gas burning equipment?
At the time, I did not know we had 100% gas. But
Okay.
what are we
Dustin
supposed-
knew we had 10 gallons out in the
What are we-
other building. I showed it
What
to
are we
Dustin.
supposed to do with the gas that's in the equipment?
You can put it back in the empty containers and we'll take care of it.
We don't have empty.
There's
If
gas
we have
cans
an
out
empty
there.
container out there, it's broke. We're supposed to dump it out on the ground?
Okay.
Or dump it out in our insulation?
So to alleviate this
Okay.
issue, is that what needs to be done? Is that to alleviate this paragraph and take care of this? Is that what needs to be done?
It was one of the
The new-
duties that has not been done.
Okay. So, but that's one of the things that needs to be done. They need to find a way, get
Right.
containers, dump out the old gas and put new gas in. Correct? And that'll take care of that one. That
We'll take
paragraph.
care of that one.
Okay. I'm just trying to find
Now,
happy medium.
the
to all
reports
this.
that we needed, like I told Dustin, we need all the certificates of all the firefighters.
Negative.
We need them for our meetings here, for
You
our
need them for the
office.
chief only.
Well,
That is,
according to the League of Municipalities, there a firefighter who joins as a volunteer fire department, he has 1 year to gain certification.
Yes.
We have every right to ask for that certification.
There is no minimum standard in the state of Alabama.
Nope. Read the league.
I've read it 3 times.
We need
What
records of that.
certification?
Huh?
What certification?
Whatever you train in your classes for.
What certification?
Do you have,
They have to, what certification do they have
do
to
you have
produce
your
to you within 1 year?
160 hours?
No.
Within 1 year, what
Nobody on the
certification?
department does.
Nobody.
Bert does, sorry.
Okay.
There's a handful of volunteers in the county.
Volunteers
that
do
have-
not have to produce anything. They are volunteers, they are not paid firefighters.
There is documentations that I need, as in the training classes that they go to. I need to know where the training class was at, who the instructor was, and I request that all the Valley Head firefighters that attend this training sign in with their own signature for our records.
The first one does not state that, it just says, a description of the training classes, a location of the class,
Mhm.
and the names of each firefighter.
Yeah.
Nothing about a signature.
Well, it says, and a sign-in sheet with the signature of each
That's this
firefighter.
one, this was the first one that you gave them, that's what we're gonna go off
This is
of.
the one you got on January
We ain't
the
doing
4th.
no changes.
We're not doing no changes. This
Nobody
is what you
approved
were
the change.
given,
Nobody approved the
Chris
change.
Bugby.
This right here is what we were given.
You were given one of these January.
Right here, and I
the 4th.
just wrote it. Provide to the city clerk a description of training classes and the location of the class.
You are
The
wrong,
names
sir.
of each firefighter that attend. There is no signature on there.
If you look in your files and everything that you get from me passed out during the meetings, Karen, Jack, Adele, Dean, y'all, and Pat got a copy of this dated January the 4th.
Are you talking about this one that I'm holding in my hand?
Yes, read the first paragraph.
There's two of them. Why did you do two? Did you change the rules?
I added to it due to our
You
documentation.
changed the rules. You
I
just
did
like
not
to change
change the
rules.
rules.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Put that on the record that he likes to change the rules.
You are wrong, sir.
Let's read this one more time. Provide to the city clerk a description of training classes and the location of the class, the names of each firefighter that attends. This is dated May 3rd, 2021. The other one that he changed, January 4th, 2023. The chief must provide the town clerk with a description of training classes, location of each class, instructor of each class, that was changed. Subject of the class, that was changed. A sign-in sheet with the signature of each firefighter attending,
That's
that
right.
was changed.
I don't even have.
3 things were changed.
May I ask a question? Are not most of this training online, some of it?
Some is, but like this last one we went to, JD was there, it was a countywide thing, there was not an instructor.
And there's no sign-in sheet either.
There was no sign sheet.
No, it was just a scenario-based incident.
I'd like to add one more thing, if I could.
What,
Sure.
what,
When you spoke with Times Journal about all this, did you lie to them or us?
I didn't lie to neither one of y'all.
So you told them that it was not over trash, but you told us when he escorted us out there, did he not, counsel?
yes,
That was one
Yeah.
of the things.
No, he didn't say one of the things, he said that was the thing, and then he suspended him without saying any other discussion when we got back in this building.
yes, that
Right?
is true, yes.
We
there was
had no discussion whatsoever, and he suspended him over this after taking us out.
Right.
He never said anything else. That's all I'm gonna say.
I've got one thing to say. At my request, Michael has given me all his certifications, and Dustin has given me all his certifications since he's been
Good.
fired. Dustin, what organization was this?
Alabama Fire College.
Okay, it wasn't at the top of it. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are.
Stephanie
The,
Fritz.
Are you from the fire college?
No, I'm
Oh.
not, I'm the owner of Fritz.
Oh, I'm
Steel.
sorry.
She's
I'm
been here
sorry
for
I've never
years.
met you. I'm sorry.
let's get back to the meeting at hand.
Right on here. It says-
Chris, when he called me about this meeting that he requested, he said it was because there is a meeting on the 24th that Dustin needs to attend to vote on a grant for communications. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I think it's clear that not only Dustin is the only one required, but I can attend it, or one of y'all can attend it to sign it.
You may want to look at that.
I read it twice this afternoon, Chris.
About the
Volunteer fire
firefighter.
departments may be certified with the commission, although certification is not mandatory.
Thank you.
Okay. I know the insurance company is pushing.
They're the ones that
Certification.
Insurance
was
company
asking
can
about.
push whatever they want, but it's not
Yeah, and you have a
regulated.
wreck out here and you got somebody that's uncertified, you're gonna be paying through the nose.
It's,
All
got
they
a-
would
you
care
got a
about on
teenager
that
with no
would be
C-
if they had
CDL
driving
driving.
training.
be at least 18 years old, right?
Yep.
And insurance.
Is everyone 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to know.
So the purpose of this meeting was the suspension of the duties of the fire chief.
Did you suspend the duties, or did you suspend the fire chief?
I
don't know,
suspended
suspend the
him
fire
of-
chief
Jack, I
Duties.
suspended him of the
and
duties
expect
of
him
the
to be
chief.
on the job.
I
He
suspended
suspended
him
the fire
of the
chief.
duties of the fire chief.
Well, you suspended the fire chief then.
Yeah.
He's not expected to do
Same
anything.
thing.
out there.
It's
I
the
took-
same.
And I told him he was to represent, no way represent himself as the fire chief of Valley Head Volunteer
That's
Fire
exactly
Department.
right. And you don't have a fire department on county. None of your citizens do.
Well, my decision
You didn't
still
appoint
stands.
anybody to replace him, Mike.
Well, if they're all disbanded, who am I gonna
you-
appoint?
Now, you do
Two.
realize by not putting him back in place right here
Yeah.
at this time with this meeting coming up,
Mhm.
that it could cost the town up to $50,000.
That's what we're looking into.
Correct.
I want verification of that. How you figure $50,000?
That's a bare minimum of what this new radio system's gonna cost.
So again, we are the ones that's gonna cast the deciding vote.
If you do not get in on this grant, it's gonna come
Deciding
out of
vote
pocket.
for what?
No, I'm just saying,
I don't
you can
know.
opt out if you want to, but then it's gonna come out of pocket when the radio system gets here.
I'm saying, you don't have to be the one to represent our town. It can be me, Chris, Jack, Adele, or Karen.
Are you a fire chief? Are you a fire chief?
Don't have a bit of fire training.
You
No,
a
I'm
fire
not.
chief?
No.
Are you a fire chief?
No.
But the
I'm
coun-
not a fire chief.
but the council controls expenditure of funds.
Right.
No, the mayor does in this
No,
town.
council controls.
The mayor does not.
God, you can't make up your mind, Pat. You told us this last
Do what?
week that we had, Pat.
I've been doing this stuff, I've been doing this stuff for 50 years.
Don't interrupt me again, please.
Don't you interrupt me, and don't you call me a crook. But
Now is not the time. I'm gonna tell you that.
I know more about the code than you'll ever.
I don't think you do, Pat, because you just told us one thing and then swapped to another.
I said, council
I
has
don't think
control
you
of the
realize
funds.
anything. No, you've said that, but also the mayor just spends whatever he wants whenever he wants to do it, and don't bring it in front of
Then
the
the
council.
council approves it.
When?
Not all the time. I want to get back, if I may. This list is the catalyst for his suspension. Am I right? Okay, so I want to go through paragraph by paragraph, if I may, and I'll do it real quick. We've already gone through paragraph number 4. Top of the page. The chief is to provide the mayor with a list of any and all problems pertaining to equipment, trucks, and fire hall. Dustin, have you done so?
It's in my minutes.
There you go. It's in the minutes, and it's in his report every month. Do you agree with that?
Not entirely.
Okay, the next paragraph. The chief is responsible for all the trucks being kept clean. We've gone
Lamar?
over the trash issue.
Escort Elaine out, please.
You don't have to, honey, I'll just go, because I knew just exactly what was going on.
Okay, I've only got 2 more paragraphs. The chief is to
You don't
provide
have
a
to worry
list
about that a bit.
to the mayor of the equipment needed and prices to get the number 2 pumper. That was given to you on at least 2 different.
I was not paying.
I'm sorry. The chief is to provide a list to the mayor of the equipment needed and prices to get the number 2 pumper properly equipped with items in order to
Yes.
pass. That was done on
August meeting.
the August 1st, 2022 meeting. And it's in his call report, and it was noted. So that was done. And then the last paragraph, the chief is required to attend all council meetings, which he's attended. I think there was one that you missed because you were out of town that I saw.
Due to training.
Okay, so he's done. Do you agree he's done everything that was on the list?
No,
Okay, what does he still need to do to
I
make it?
still need records of training.
I just handed you all this. This is all the training. And those are copies for Deborah and you guys to have. So is there anything else that needs to be covered?
Yeah, I wanna take the floor and I wanna defend myself.
Oh, I'm, okay, but I want to finish this list, because this was the reason he was suspended, right? Okay, so have we gone over everything that needs to be righted?
No.
We've got the gas
No.
issue in the cans?
No, we're not got that taken care of yet.
Okay, so what else needs to be done so that we can do it, that's what you require?
Again, the first paragraph, the location, the instructors,
Well, I think everything's on.
that's what there was no instructor.
But it proves they were there, or they would have. It doesn't matter.
How often do you have a meeting?
A meeting?
A meeting?
Maybe
Look
once
at
a
the
month,
dates
mine.
on that,
That's on
and
this
if they're
form.
not 2023, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
If
they're-
it's 2021,
This is
is
from
the
way-
one you fall back.
This is way back
Yeah.
from, this is when he started.
Yeah.
It's from like.
Yeah, so
6 or
this
7
is
years.
the list you should be going off
No.
of, not this new
I
one
didn't have that
that
one.
he made changes to.
Okay. Well, the fireman wanted him to have all of them.
He made
so-
changes to make it worse on the fire department.
No,
Well,
I made changes as deemed necessary.
they voluntarily
To make
gave
it
all
harder
these
for
to
the
me.
fire.
No, sir, that's.
Yes, you did.
not true.
Yes, you did.
It
It's
was
the same
said,
thing. It's the
excuse me,
same
I'm
thing.
talking. It was said that I'm been against the fire department from the day one. That is not true. I can show you back when I was on the council, when we got the USDA loan to purchase the Ford F-450 mini pumper from Rainsville. We got a $130,000 loan from them. And then we also spent the same year $78,000 on the fire department.
For what?
Equipment and trucks.
That was in the loan. You act
No,
like it's
this is two
130,000
different-
plus 78,000.
This is two
No.
different things, Dustin.
No.
And I have not yet denied anything you asked for.
That list I gave you in August of 2022, there hadn't been a single thing purchased off that list.
Okay, when you came to us and you asked for radios, we got radios, right?
Yes. But what about the list? You went away from that. I asked the list in August 2022 for engine 2 for ISO standards. I gave you that list and you said,
And I
well, look
told you-
at it.
I told you to get me some prices.
And it was right there on everything. I had quality, how much I needed of each thing and a price by it. It was presented at the meeting and slid right there on the middle of that table.
It was
You looked at
presented to
it.
me at the meeting.
Yes.
I've been
Yes.
asking for extrication equipment since
Yes, and that was
2021.
price.
The what?
I've been asking for extrication equipment since 2021 because we still don't have any. We're waiting
And-
on Fort Payne to come cut people out of cars.
We approved Dustin for $500 for a grant writer to write a grant for extrication.
That was done last month.
2 months ago, and we've not
Oh,
heard
I'm
an
so
update
sorry. What
yet.
about the last 2 years I've been asking for?
We've not heard any updates on any of that
The
yet.
update on that is Hammondville had put in a grant for it. I'm not knocking them out of it. They have a better shot with 59 in their area than we did. So I said, all right, I'm not going to put in for that grant. I'll look for something else to get a grant
The
on.
last time I asked for it, you told me, and I quote, "We can look into it, but you need to focus on recruitment before I justify spending that amount of money for just the two of you," reference myself and Bert. The training standard for extrication is 2 people. We have no less than 5 on a record of entrapment over the last 5 years.
Okay.
But you didn't want to take the time to listen to what we had to say.
I did, and I do.
But that list was presented August meeting with price and quantity of everything we needed.
Well, I can tell you, I did not see that.
You picked it up and you said, well, look at it and put it in your little folder and that was all it wrote.
Nope. I never got it.
It was on the table, because I
Yeah.
remember seeing it.
You got it, you just didn't look at it.
So we didn't accomplish anything tonight.
I think we
Because
did.
everything was done incorrectly.
Cut and dry before they started.
Yep.
I think we,
Somebody had a plan for it,
Yeah.
and I think 2 people done it.
I think we went over the list and established that there's not much left on this list.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
You are
I-
wrong.
I'm pretty sure you and this one got in you little ducks.
Me and who?
This one right here.
I did what?
Got you little ducks in a row, done everything, and he said, "Hey, Mike, you have all the authority on
I very
everything.
seldom talk.
You
to
have
Pat
no,
outside
they have
this
no
meeting.
authority."
I very seldom talk to him outside.
You haven't
this
talked to
meeting.
him not once this week.
I talked to him the other one, yeah, I did.
You did talk to him.
I asked him,
After you talked to Rob Johnson.
yeah, after I talked to Rob Johnson, I did.
Okay.
I think to get everything back in line, Dustin should be reinstated. That'd get us all out of the crap. We'd have the fire department again. Then you two heads work together with a cool mind and not one that's my way or the highway, and get things straightened out in this fire department, because like I said the other night, I'm tired of coming up here every meeting and listening to it.
Well, my biggest
Now,
concern,
that's what would get things going, and you and Dustin sit down and talk.
right now, we
Instead of
have,
sitting here with a bunch of, you can't do this and you can't do that, I have a fist, some of you lying about it, some of you ain't, whatever, I don't know.
Let me say
But I know
this.
we made and bought a computer for that fire department down there. Okay, the one that they wanted, you took the money, went and bought a different computer, which was way out of what they didn't want, told you they didn't want it, you boxed it up, sent it back with information from our fire department on it, sent it back to the company. That was wrong.
There was- And it's like I
That
said,
was wrong.
Your private information should not be on.
there was
There
no
was no
private
private
information. We went
information.
over
It was
that
given
in
to
the
them.
meeting.
That was their
done.
computer.
That is said and done.
May
It's
I
I,
know
got
it's said and
nothing- no,
done,
hold on.
because that's fine, you done it, but that was wrong.
can I make one more comment?
No, ma'am, I'm gonna, because it's my turn, if you don't mind. I will not reinstate him.
Good, that's your call,
That's my call.
that's your call. You're without a fire department.
Can I
That's
ask you a
your call.
question?
Yes.
Why are there still 2 fire trucks out of 4 in our fire hall that cannot be put on the road right now?
Well,
They've been asking for 6 months for batteries for engine number 2, still not in there.
engine number 2. They've not been asking for no.
Oh my gosh,
They've been
Oh,
on
I
the
think I
report.
do have it right here.
yeah, it's been a
Okay,
long
read
time.
it out. Read it out.
But you said the other night that was vague,
August
we asked them for
1st,
batteries.
The
2022.
engine number 2, for the most part, sits back in the back fire hall, again, in bad shape. That's very seldom used.
Cause it won't start.
All right, this is March 2023. Engine 2, engine 3, fluid levels are good. Engine 2 still needs batteries along with brush truck 4.
When was that?
That was last month.
Okay, brush truck 4 is good to go.
Yeah,
Now,
he
yes.
told us that.
There's another truck out there with a note laying in the seat of it out of service too.
Yep,
Who put that note there?
I did. I did.
Why ain't that truck fixed?
February 5th, 2023.
Soon.
No, that's what,
Engine 2,
You want it
water
now.
tank level
Huh?
indicator
stuff
light.
now,
Yeah,
according to what you're doing to him. You're working on that motor out there, which you aren't qualified to do. You
That's
never
why
have
it
been,
is not
and you never
fixed.
will be, and that's why it's not in service.
It is-
I come and helped you set the motor back in along with Charles
that's right.
West
That's right.
to get it back in. You had no business fooling with it to start with. You're not a qualified mechanic.
Well, that's your opinion,
That's
Jack.
my opinion.
Oh, are you a qualified mechanic?
I am not a qualified
Thank
mechanic.
You got no business
And I
touching it.
talked to League of Municipalities
I did
after
too.
you did, and we went through basically the same thing that you conversed with him about. And he's kinda agreeing with my stance on this.
No, he did not with me.
Well, this is what I was telling him. I
He
told
said
him
that
because
a
it was
certified
a-
mechanic needs to fix anything.
Right,
And you don't
Because the
know. if
liability will go
water
back to
yet.
you.
I do. I don't know if
You
it's-
said you
we have
did, you
not
told
pumped
me you
water.
did, and you said you
I have
didn't know
not
if it
pumped
pumped
water with it.
No, you haven't.
No, I
If
haven't.
that truck's sent out and won't pump water, it won't be no better than a pickup going out there with it.
That's why it's got the sign out.
Needs to be checked out, run and tested.
That's why it's got the sign out of order.
Yep.
So you're willing to state your name and this town's name, if that truck runs a call and somebody gets hurt because that pump fails, it comes back to you? You're
That's
willing?
why I'm calling a certified mechanic in from Chattanooga to.
Should have done that in October when it went down.
Well, unlike your days, Michael, when we were on it, we did a lot more than just work on that. We've changed motors in the fire.
But you're
Y'all
so
probably
worried about
didn't
getting
do anything else
sued.
either.
You're so worried about getting sued with this mutual aid thing, but you're not worried about that?
No, I'm not. Because,
All right, back to
no, I'm
the
not.
engine 2, February 5th, 2023. Engine 2 water tank level indicator lights are not working properly and needs batteries.
What was that date?
20, February 5th,
Yeah.
2023. That's back-to-back months that it was on and nothing happened.
Now, I want to say something. This council took the same oath of office I took. Disagreement is good, but every time we gather here for a council meeting and we discuss anything, I have 3 of you that's 100% against anything I suggest.
Yes, sir. I know.
During this, I'm talking, during this suspension of the chief, how many of you have reached out, called me, or come by the office to talk to me about my decision?
Told you to tell us just like you do something here that's
Jack?
out of your jurisdiction. I don't need to listen to
I'm
that.
asking you,
Huh?
how many of y'all called me?
You
or
went
come
let us
by-
discuss it that
Anything
evening.
said to you,
cut us off
Mike,
that night
is
in the
not
night
listened to.
meeting.
Did you
It
call
goes
me?
off,
Did
you
you
like
come by
a
the
No,
water
no, I
off the
sure
duck.
said
Okay.
that. Nope,
Okay.
I had nothing to say. You had made up your mind,
I did.
just like tonight.
Chris did to organize the meeting, that's it.
But no, we discussed some things on the telephone, I do believe.
Here since last Monday?
Huh?
Since last Monday,
Yes.
what did we discuss?
What did we discuss, Mike? Do you remember?
Yeah. You didn't say
About the
that.
political problem.
Oh, yeah.
We discussed that on the phone.
That was brought up, this is politically motivated.
You brought it up to me, actually, and I said,
It
well,
is false.
and I said, well, it seems like that to me, and I said, I'm pretty sure everybody in the town thinks it is, because y'all actually campaigned for somebody else for mayor, and he feels that y'all lied on him. Y'all said some lies about him. This is what he said on the phone to me.
Yeah.
And that's what he feels. So it is politically motivated.
Yes.
No, it's not.
So,
No, it's
that,
not.
after he told me on the phone that y'all said some lies about him, and that he thinks that y'all did, that it's politically motivated by my views.
No, it is not. It is not.
And for you not knowing that you had the power for the fire chief, police chief, and everything else, besides the clerk, and letting us vote on it, that was wrongdoing on your part.
What's wrong with everyone's
It was
part?
actually a waste
Yeah.
of time.
That was wrong on everyone's part.
No, it was wrong on your part,
It
and
was
it's
Wrong
wrong
on the
on
ones that knew
everyone's
about it,
part.
and I didn't know about
the
it.
clerk and yours. The mayor and the clerk should know that.
Mr. Tate should have known that.
He wasn't here.
Oh, that's right, he wasn't here.
And every municipality in DeKalb County except 1 or 2 falls in the same trap. Because the council used to name the fire chief and police chief and that kind of thing.
But we, at the time we did it, we didn't know we didn't have the authority.
And that was
And
never,
they've done it for years. That's why I've always said this town has been so crooked for years.
well, you can throw about 16 other towns in the same pot.
I would say so. Small towns are the worst ones. And I told the mayor, whenever he asked me to run for council, I said, we're gonna do it right.
You did. You did.
And we have yet to do it right since.
It's a learning process.
Well, it's a learning process that should have been known by you, Miss Adele here, for years. Correct? How long have you been on the council?
Nearly 15 years.
Nearly 15. Y'all should have known all this. Both of
Okay,
you.
Chris, you're opening up a lot of stuff. I can go back.
We can.
we can go back when, did Judy with him, and there's some things, and you know.
Let's,
Okay,
Well, yeah, that has got nothing to
wait,
do
wait,
with
wait,
it.
wait, wait.
No, no.
He's getting at me now, and so.
No, I just asked how
and I
long
will
you've been
tell
here.
you.
How long had you been here, and if you knew what
Okay.
what was supposed to happen? How
I-
many years have you
I
voted?
don't know.
How many years have you voted for police chief?
For a lot of years.
Lot of years.
And I have been asked by the Lamar Bray to reinstate him, did he not? Dustin and I came in here. Dustin promised, after being relieved from Harold Carden as mayor, Kenneth Hammond's run his tail out because of the black truck, and then because he didn't comply with the councils back then, you remember that, and then,
black truck.
Scott Gifford, I don't even think he was here at that time. I would have to go back and look at all that. And then Lamar, he was not chief then, and Lamar said, we just might as well give him back the job. And I said, well, or yeah, is he gonna be like he always, I don't know that much about the fire department, I'll just be honest. All I know is what we discuss here, and a lot of times we can't get it discussed because everybody's got their own views on it and everything. So I don't really know. I do know that he did not comply with a lot of things that he was supposed to do. He is volunteer, he is not paid. Okay, I know that. He knows that. I don't hate Dustin, I don't hate any of them or dislike them. I mean, you know, I have been on here, and Dustin, you know good and well that we sat down in here and you told me a lot of things and you promised a lot of things. But then you turned around and told a lot of the firemen that and we'll go back even to Mayberry, I'm being accused of something that was not said, not in the way that he heard it. There was more to whatever he heard than that. And this was all for them, the Mayberry was. And I'm going to defend myself because I have worked, and you know that, and Michael, you know that, I volunteer. I don't get paid either.
But how many years have we asked for it not to be for the fire department?
I know, but that's what was voted on, and that's why Mayberry's was here for the town and for y'all to have money, because y'all wouldn't raise anything. That was another thing. Y'all wouldn't go out and raise money and do stuff like that. So
We're not gonna go out and do it.
wait. And so that's why we did that. I enjoy doing it. I've not griped about doing it, but then I tried to get some people involved in helping, just to help. And I mean, everybody got to where it, that was close to the fire department, and I don't know what y'all's things are, or what y'all do, or whatever. But y'all came in here and said, we don't want it. We don't want it. Well, the town needs it, and we gotta give it to somebody, because we can't take in the money.
But
The
sitting
town
from where we
cannot
are,
take in the money.
Mayberry is a morale killer for that fire department. That is one thing that killed that department, was Mayberry.
Why?
Because people was not gonna come down here, spend all their time that they had to be with their families, besides running calls.
One day?
No, there's more than that required of it.
Oh,
Yes.
Dustin, the first
Yes.
year there was, because y'all helped Jack. Jack made a stage.
And we was all that,
It
And
wasn't
they-
the first year,
They
that was the
have
second
to,
year.
that was the
Yeah.
second year. The first year we borrowed everything, and Jack was out there just like the rest of us, and probably had a heart attack because it was so hot, and he stood in it, and he did that for y'all. We all did we not, Jack? And this was for y'all. I mean, I don't understand, really, I don't understand why y'all didn't want the money That's my thing.
Because we wanted a say in it. We wanted to have a say in more of the
Okay,
stuff
there
going
we
on.
go again. Was it the third year or the fourth year that they had the say and wanted this big band of Alabama, or what you call it? That's the year we made $6,000.
But that would
Because
help.
y'all wanted
You know
to have, y'all had a big, what you call it out here, and dumped all the garbage over in the thing. Everybody smelled it the next day. That was awful. It was over $500-something worth that y'all got all that stuff.
If we make a penny off Mayberry, I'm happy. I don't care. A penny more than I have in there. I don't care. That's the thing. We don't need these big extravagant things around here.
You need the money to buy stuff with, Dustin.
This is more or less for the community.
You
Well,
hear,
then y'all
you
have
say
to. That's what we
your,
say. Chris
all of
stated
your
at the meeting.
equipment is expensive, and we see that. We
Chris
see
stated
that,
at
do
the
we
last
not?
meeting though, and after Mayberry, it's the last time for the fire department. And here we come again, it's right back to it again. We don't want it. We do not want
Well,
the
after
money.
this year, well, you're getting the money because it is stated that you get the money. And it goes in there after the bills are paid, and y'all see everything because it is on every folder that Deborah and I do. We do not keep any of that money. I don't care what he was talking about, and I don't know what he was talking about. But that money goes to y'all. It might have been that I got so mad because I try not to, but y'all might have said something and I might have made the I don't even know. I don't remember saying that at all. But I know that the day that we did the 6,000, I'm sitting back thinking, we worked ourselves to death, and this is all we get because we're paying $500 here, $1,000 and something to this other group that we'd already got. No, it was more than that. I don't remember.
But
anyway,
6,000 is the one we started with, so that's a good day. I mean,
that's fine. That's fine. And I don't want to fuss with you.
I'm not
going to fuss with you. I'm defending myself because I get out every single day, and you know it, from January to May, and I work on this. And I work hard on it, and I call people, and they have been gracious to help us, and I still got calls today, people coming in wanting to be vendors. This is something for our town also. It's not just for y'all. And not only that, y'all did the cornhole thing after that and seemed to have enjoyed it. You told me you did. And you made some money that night.
and
You
turn
know.
around the next council meeting and
And
get accused
then
of looting trash.
Michael said, I'm not spending my day down here flipping hamburgers. Okay, that was the only day that Michael actually worked down here.
I said, I'm not spending my day down here flipping frozen hamburgers.
Now, that was not
Because they were
me.
put in this freezer right here.
Oh my God.
Because
That
we were
was,
told,
that was not my
we were
fault.
told nobody had a code to that door out there. But the next council meeting, we come in here and get presented pictures of all the stinking drink boxes we had set off to the side.
I don't
over
know
there,
about all that,
'cause
Michael.
the
I
dumpster
have
was
no
locked and
clue.
couldn't put them up.
I have no clue about that. All I know is that they were put in the freezer, and I am sorry, and I will, as far as Karen.
Point of order,
that.
point of order. This is getting into a he said, she said. It's totally
Michael,
off the
I want to
agenda.
defend myself,
You
and
can.
I will.
Yes,
You
I don't
can,
blame her.
but let's.
I want to do it because I'm not gonna be told that I've said something and I have not worked for these boys, because I have, and I've, Jack has, the other council has.
And we
more,
know the money
and
goes to the
everything.
fire department.
And
We
it
have a
goes
transfer
to
every.
them. And I want that
We
on
see it
record,
transfer.
because it is not right for them to down me on anything that I have not complied with and done my very best in this council. I have told the truth. As far as I know, I have never not told the truth. I've never kept anything, and I have been as nice and to get everything that y'all want.
In 15 years, have you ever heard Mr. Pat Tate
Yeah,
say anything about not voting for police chief, fire chief.
I'm not voting for police, fire chief.
That's at the organizational meetings, and I don't attend them usually.
I mean, I don't
We
know.
had to vote on our last police chief that came in.
Yep.
Well, yeah, yes, we
We're
did.
not supposed to have to do that.
Yeah, we did.
He's
See,
only
see-
appointed.
See,
And we voted
which,
to bring Lamar back.
which
too.
again, that proves that he didn't find this out until just recently.
Yeah.
Because we done that last year.
We voted on it.
Yeah.
Your opinions have been stated, your mind is made up. Obviously, you don't want to hear any more from me.
That's a good way of sliding out of it.
Very good.
I'm ready to go myself.
I need a motion to adjourn.
I got one more thing, and I'll be done. I feel that, I don't know how you think we should go about it, but moving to a city manager position.
You can't afford a city manager.
You can't afford a city manager, what do you mean by that?
A good city manager is gonna cost you 75 to 100,000 a year.
And do away with the mayor and council, right?
No, you don't do away with the mayor council.
There's a list in there
Yes.
for under 6,000 people that you can have just a city manager and no council, no
No,
mayor.
you're wrong. There is a few towns in South Alabama that have city managers. I think Dothan has one, Lynette has one, I believe, but you still have the council. And you have a mayor. The mayor is the figurehead that resides in the council meetings, but the city manager makes all the calls.
Yeah, the city manager essentially runs the city, yes.
And the council member who tries to influence the city council, city manager, is charged with interference in his political office. Happened in Anniston.
I need a motion to adjourn.
So you're just sticking to the suspension for 30 days, no matter what?
I am for 30 days.
All right, I just want that answer.
What's gonna happen after that?
That depends on what we see done.
He's got to answer all military rules, paperwork,
The
action,
military's got
the whole
nothing to
thing.
do with it, Jack.
Yes, it does. That's the
No,
way
it
you're
does
acting.
not.
That's the way you're acting. I'm the boss, you're gonna do it, or I'm getting rid of it.
Not even military, it's Marine Corps.
Should I hold on to these for 30 days then? I'm gonna do
No,
that.
we're giving copies to Deborah.
No, I think I'm gonna hold on to it till they come back for the, because he's suspended anyway, so I don't want to, I'll just
He's
hang on. to it.
suspended
I'll
from the
keep him for
duties
30
of the
days.
chief for 30 days.
I'll get him, I'll get him.
But he can still attend
We need
fires,
another chief.
Yes,
still take the truck out.
he's still
Are
considered
you
a
gonna get another
volunteer.
active chief?
Well, the next in line would ordinarily step up for the position, but I gathered by what Michael's saying,
But he had to be appointed.
he's
He
not
just said
going
he's
to.
Got to be
No,
appointed.
he just said he has.
He's gotta be appointed by
You
the mayor.
can't step up, you have to appoint him.
You have to appoint somebody.
Right, Mr. Tate?
But
Is that
when,
correct?
But the mayor could appoint an acting chief, yes.
Yes, yeah.
That's what he's supposed to do if he suspends the
And
current.
he should have one. He doesn't, he doesn't have a fire
I
department.
think all should have known that.
we should,
Yeah,
we
and
should.
we didn't do it.
But they
Yep.
have to have the right requirements. You can't just appoint anyone.
Can't just
Yeah.
appoint anyone, they have to have the same requirements
And
that
it's not
Dustin
on
has.
the agenda, so it's not gonna happen tonight.
You can actually appoint them at
He ain't
any
gonna
point in
change
time.
his
You don't
mind
have to
about
have a
nothing.
meeting to appoint somebody.
And he does no good to talk to.
Mr. Tate said that's correct.
Well,
I know it is.
then
So you choose
Michael,
not to appoint.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, brother. I'll see you again. What's up, guys? What are you doing? A lot of people out here.
Yes, there is.
All the listening to the behind the
I think so. I'm gonna go grab a microphone. My name's Sam McAlpin with the Alabama Grapevine. I'm here today with
Michael Chambers.
We're in Valley Head, Alabama at the recent town hall meeting. How do you think it went today, brother?
Mayor showed that he's a coward.
How so?
We got 50 some odd people standing out here in the parking lot. He was given ample time to move the venue, a week at that, and just decided not to. Just only let 4 people from the public inside the building and didn't reinstate our chief.
No doubt there's at least 50 people out here, probably more. I do think they probably should have been let in the building. That probably would have been the best thing they could have done. How do you think it could have been handled better today?
Him moving it to a venue than when it was offered a week ago.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Fire hall holds 50 people.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be at the fire hall.
It wasn't supposed to be, but we offered it to him.
Would have been the best bet, wouldn't it?
Sure would have.
So what do you think's the plan moving forward? What are they going to do? They didn't make a choice today. Seemed like a lot of arguing and stuff like that. What are your thoughts?
Bert said to stay, so I'm staying. I declined to accept the role as fire chief. We just don't have a department for another month.
Do you think anyone else that was in the department with y'all will take that position as fire chief?
I haven't heard from anybody specifically, but no, I do not. We stand behind our chief.
Pretty tight-knit family.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah, brother. I appreciate the time.
Anytime.
Thank you, buddy. We're in Valley Head today. What did you think about the turnout?
Turnout was awesome, man. It's awesome to see that the citizens of Valley Head come out and support the fire department like we did today. I've been here since 5:30, and most everybody has been here since 5:30. So it's nice to see that all these local people are coming to support the fire department.
Hey, man, I agree. So are you a firefighter here? You a firefighter in Hammondville? Do you do anything? Were you a
No, sir. I live here and I work here. So I kind of got a gist of what's going on, and it's a sad situation what's going on, but
So what do you think is going on? What do you mean? Elaborate a little bit, because I'm trying to stay as unbiased as possible. All I know is Dustin was suspended from his duty. So what do you think's going on behind the scenes as far as why that was done? That's a good one.
It's a he said, she said situation. It's hard to believe one side of the story. I'm trying to go to both sides, but the way he was tonight, it really kind of showed what went down.
He did seem a little standoffish a lot. Now he met me. He gave me a piece of paper to read, but at times, man, he seemed real standoffish. Everybody else seemed nice. Once I started talking to him, he seemed nicer. But he with cameras and everything, he's probably a little.
Well, I don't know much about him outside of here, although I do work in Valley Head. But the fire department we got some great guys, really great guys, and it's sad that he can't come to an agreement of something positive. It's just all negative, and it's sad. It's a sad situation.
So how do you know Dustin?
I know him from the fire department. We do Mayberry Days, and then I've known him since he was around 18, 19 years old. I knew him since he joined the fire department.
Seems like a nice guy to me.
Yeah, he seems like a likable guy. And my dad was actually mayor in, I don't even know what year it was. It was a couple years ago. Scott Gifford. Okay. He was mayor here, so I kind of got introduced to everybody. Council, Chris Busby, he's awesome guy. Chris Busby. I know Michael Chambers. He works in Valley Head actually too, so he's quick to call us, which is nice having him here. He lives in Valley Head and he works in Valley Head, so it's real nice having him here.
So what do you think they should do as far as Dustin goes?
Man, it's a tough situation, but we need a fire department. They need to come to an agreement. At least have us a fire department. I mean, you can't just sit there and be like, you're still suspended. You're still suspended. I mean, it's what can we do? We can just show up and support them.
I understand, brother. Hey, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Man. Appreciate it.
I'm here today with
Elaine Burt, Dustin Burt's mother, that was the fire chief.
Awesome. It's very nice to meet you. So tell us what happened today. What's going on? You seem to get a little riled up in there.
A little bit. Well, I come to all the meetings and it's always a mess. He is never nice to the fire department. I'm not saying he's not a nice person, but he's never treats them right. They don't get paid. He does. Yeah, I did get pissed off when I was in there, and he's made me leave.
Why'd he make you leave?
Because he didn't want to hear what I said, I guess.
I didn't hear you say anything when he made you get out of there.
Well, I guess he knows me too well because I go to the meetings.
Yes, well, what do you hope the end game is to all this? There's a lot of people out here, a lot of support for your son. What do you hope the end game is?
Well, I tell you, I'm 76 years old, and I've lived in this town the whole time except leaving for a few, maybe 2 or 3 years now and then. And I have never, ever seen this town in such a mess, and I've never seen such turmoil, I guess. You know, one person can't run a town, and on top of that, they work for us. They work for the citizens of this town, and it is sad. It is sad because we don't have anything here anyway, and now we don't even. I mean, now this is just a mess.
What happens if someone's house catches on fire?
Well, I guess you just SOL. But there is Hammondville and Mentone. Now, Hammondville and Mentone has a good fire department, and they work together with Valley Head. So it's not like they'll be without. But, you know, and I hope nobody's house catches on fire. I hope that this can get solved. I don't see it happening, but maybe, by the grace of God, you know.
What do you think should happen with both the fire department and the mayor? What do you think should be the end game? How should it play out for everybody?
You really want?
Please go ahead.
I think the fire department should completely step out of being right here and have their own, just like Mentone does. And they have a lot of support for that. And they have people helping already behind the scenes. But, in fact, I asked the mayor Monday night, I said, why don't y'all just let them go and y'all would be happy and they'd be happy? And they said, yeah, we would be happy. Well, obviously. And so it would be a good thing. Now, I don't know who would piss him off then, but I would still come to the meetings, and I told him that then because I want to see I would like to see a happy face in here, you know, because when I go in, he pisses me off the minute I see him. And he said that when I come in, he just stiffens up. So I don't know.
Well, yes, ma'am, I really appreciate your time today. It was great meeting you. I'm sorry you're angry.
Well, I am.
Nice to meet you. Have a good night.